Damen und Herren, wie geht's? So today I'm making this episode to specifically focus on the topic which is on the cases of nouns. Now this one is one of the most important topics to the advanced students, and I would really recommend to you also when doing this topic, please go and check on the video I made which was on the articles, that is the gender of nouns, because it will be a bit technical for you to understand this topic before you check on the gender of nouns. So let's get into it. Cases of nouns. Now, we have four cases of nouns in German. There are only four. There is the nominative, then I have the accusative. So nominative, accusative, dative, and also genitive. All right. So I'm going to be tackling each and every one of them in depth so that you understand what we mean by this nominative, accusative, etc., etc. Okay. So let's begin with the very first one, which is the nominative. Okay, here we go then. What is the nominative? So I normally like to stress this. Nominative is simply the subject. What do I mean by the subject? So subject is normally the person or the thing doing the action, also referred to as the action doer. So nominative is the subject, the person or the thing that is doing the actual action. That is what we call nominative, okay? The subject of the sentence. So subject, as you know, can either be a noun or a personal pronoun. And as you know very well also, when you're constructing a sentence in German, we normally conjugate the verb depending on your subject. That's why also when doing this topic, it's important to remind ourselves of the conjugation, the verb conjugations, and the various endings. So as I've mentioned is that the subject can either be a noun or a personal pronoun. So German nouns are either masculine. So we have three genders of nouns in German, three genders of nouns. As I've said, there's a video I also made specifically to explain to you what we mean by these gender of nouns. Okay, so we have three genders of nouns in German. That is masculine, feminine, and neuter. So in nominative, masculine articles are normally der stroke ein. Der means the, ein means a stroke an. So masculine is der stroke ein, feminine is die stroke eine, and then neuter is das stroke ein. All right? And then the personal pronouns. Here are some personal pronouns in nominative, which are, we have ich. So ich simply means I. Du is you in the informal. And then I have er, er. Er is he. Sie, which means she. And then you have s. S simply means it. So sie can mean she or they. S is it. Sie, capital S-I-E. Sie simply means you, formal. Then you have wer. Wer is we. And then er, which is the plural of you, okay? So basically, I will say this. What is nominative? Just know this. Nominative is the subject in the sentence, the person who is doing that action. That is the nominative, okay? I've given some examples just to continue stressing to you what the nominative is. You will notice from the examples that nominative are normally at the beginning of the sentence, those people that are doing the action. Example, der Mann kauft nichts. You can see der Mann has been underlined. So der Mann is the subject here because that is the person doing the action. So the man is buying nothing. So der Mann does the action of buying nothing. Are we together? Die Frau, the lady, ist reich. The lady is rich. Ich is my subject. Ich, which means I. Ich komme heute. I'm coming today. Wir gehen in die Schule. And das Buch ist teuer. So from all the examples you've seen that nominative is simply the subject of the sentence. All right? Okay, then let's see the accusative. What do we mean by the accusative? You're being told accusative simply is the direct object in a sentence. The direct object in a sentence being affected firsthand by the action or the doing of the subject. So accusative is now the object that receives the action from the subject, okay? So meaning the normal sentence arrangement is you have subject, the person doing the action, then you have the verb, and then you have object. So this object, this direct object is what we call accusative. Are we together up until there? So in accusative, the nouns, articles, and personal pronouns change as follows. So this is what happens in accusative. You can see in accusative now, the masculine articles change to den. Now in accusative, the articles are now den stroke einen. And then feminine, die stroke eine. Neuter is das stroke ein, and then plural is die. Now, the good thing I would recommend to you also when watching this video, you can go ahead and pause in between so that you note down any important points for you, okay? You can always rewind and play back to listen to some details that you might have missed, all right? So basically, as you've seen from the explanation, is that accusative is the object. Mainly, the accusative object normally come after the verb. So basically, accusative is the direct object. So the personal pronouns, look at the personal pronouns and how they change in accusative. So in accusative, you're being told, ich is I. Now I in accusative becomes me, which is mich. So ich is nominative, I. It becomes mich, which is me in accusative. Du becomes dich. And then which is he. Now in accusative, it becomes n, I-H-N, him. Sie, she, remains sie, her. S remains S in accusative. Then the Z, the big capital S-I-E, Z remains Z, you, formal you, yeah? And then wir, which is we, now becomes uns in accusative, us. Ihr becomes euch, you, and then sie remains sie, they. I hope you get them up until there, okay? Then also in accusative, we have prepositions. There are also prepositions that whenever you see them, the following thing must be put also in accusative. So these prepositions are also always followed by accusative objects. So here are some prepositions for you to note down also, that whenever you see these prepositions, the following article also must be put in accusative. So look at those prepositions. I normally shorten them as fudogeb. So F, which is fewer, and then you have so fewer, then there's durch, which is through, ohne is without, gegen simply means against or into, and then finally entlang is along, and then bis, which means tail or up and tail. Okay, so also whenever you see those prepositions, the following article or the following thing, you also put it in the accusative. Are we together? So remember, my point of introduction is this. Accusative is the object, the direct object being affected by the subject's action. That is the accusative. All right? So I've given some couple of examples to just illustrate more on that. Look at the example. Ich kaufe das Buch. So ich is the subject, kaufe is the verb, das Buch is the object. So das Buch is the accusative object. Do you see that? Der Mann, subject, bringt, verb, das Geld, the money, object. So you can basically see that mostly accusative comes after, or mostly comes after the verb. Wir, subject, haben, so we have, and then the object, den Kühlschrank, the fridge, we have the fridge. Peter spielt, Peter is playing das Musikinstrument. So Peter is playing the music instrument, the musical instrument. Das Haus, the house, ist fewer. So you have the preposition fewer. Now fewer is a preposition accusative. So fewer den Mann. So the house is for the man. Ich gehe, I am going, ohne dich. I am going without you. I am going for a walk without you. Wir gehen die Kirche. We are going around the church. So for those of you who still don't know about the articles, as I've said, please go ahead and check the video I did some times back on the articles, all right? So remember, accusative is the direct object. It mostly coming after the verb, yeah? So accusative preposition, So accusative is the direct object mostly coming after the verb stroke accusative prepositions in a sentence, okay? So I will finish by saying accusative is simply the object that is being affected by the subject's action, all right? Then you have the third case, which is dative. What do we mean by dative or dative? Now, this one, it is normally the person or the thing benefiting from somebody else's action. Dative is normally that person that is being done for, that something is being done on behalf of them. The person or thing benefiting from somebody else's action. It mostly involves doing something for someone. Commonly, it is referred to as indirect object. Okay, let me give you this example. It will illustrate more clearly. The mother is buying the daughter a book. Look at this example. So the mother is the subject, okay, doing the action doer. So the mother is the subject, is buying, that is the action. The daughter, now you can see the daughter has been underlined. Now this daughter is the one who is being done for something. Something is being done for her. So you can see the mother is doing something for the daughter in that she is buying the daughter a book. So a book is the object. A book is accusative, and then the daughter is now the dative. Do you see? So you can see that the daughter is benefiting from the mother's action. So you can see the mother is doing something for the daughter by buying her a book. So what do you mean there? So the daughter is now the dative because she is benefiting from the mother's action of getting her a book. Are we together up until there? So that's why I said it is normally the person or thing benefiting from somebody else's action, that is dative. It also shows where somebody or something is. Dative also shows location, okay? So in dative, nouns articles are, so in dative now, the masculine articles are now dem, dem, stroke einem. I am really stressing them out so that you get the spelling, yeah? So masculine articles now are dem, stroke einem. Feminine now is der, der, der stroke einer. Neuter, the same as masculine, dem, stroke einem. And then plural is now den. So when using the plural article den in dative, we also add an n to the noun unless the noun already ends in n or s. Okay? And then also we have the personal pronouns. Look at how the personal pronouns are in dative. So in dative, these are how the personal pronouns are. So we had ich. Remember, ich is I. In accusative, it was mich, me. Now in dative, it is also me, which is mir. So ich, nominative, mich, accusative. Now in dative, it is mir, M-I-R. Now du, in dative, is now dir. And then you have he, er. Now in dative, it is M-I-H-M, him. Sie, which means she. In dative, it is er, I-H-R, which means her. Then the Z with capital S-I-E-U. In dative, it is now innen, capital I, innen. Wir in dative is uns. Er in dative it is euch. And then sie also becomes innen, or the small S-I-E-Z also is innen, okay? So basically, you've seen how the articles and also the personal pronouns change in dative. We also have prepositions plus dative. Initially, I have given you prepositions plus accusative. Now I want you to see prepositions plus dative. In that, whenever you see these prepositions, the following article or thing, you also put it in dative. So here are the prepositions plus dative. So I normally shorten it as von zu Snambeg. Von zu Snambeg. All right? So the first one you have is von, V-O-N. So von simply means from. Then you have zu, Z-U. Zu simply means to. Then you have S, seit, S-E-I-T. Seit means since or for. Seit. And then you have nach, N-A-C-H. Now, nach means can mean after or can also mean to in terms of location. Aus is from, mit is with, bei is at, and gegen simply means against, and then gegenüber, opposite. Okay, so basically remember, dative is simply the indirect object, or dative also shows where somebody or something is. Okay, I've given out a couple of examples so that you see how they behave in sentences. Okay, look at those examples. Number 1. Die Mutter kauft der Tochter ein Buch. Die Mutter is the subject, the mother. Kauft is the verb. Der Tochter. Now, the Tochter is the person benefiting, the person that something is being done for her. And then ein Buch. So you can see probably we have the mother who is doing the action is buying the daughter. So she's doing something for the daughter, a book. So die Mutter kauft. Now, feminine die Tochter. In that we've been told feminine die becomes der. That's why it's der Tochter. Ich gebe. I am giving dir. So you can see do in dative now is dir. Ich gebe dir die Beispiele. I'm giving you the examples. Wir sprechen mit. So you've seen mit, which was a preposition plus dative, yeah? So that means whenever you see mit, also there's something coming after it also is in dative. So, wir sprechen, we are speaking. So you can see the arrangement. Yeah? Wir, subject, sprechen, verb, mit, and then it's the thing coming after that, mit is dative. So, wir sprechen mit dem Mann. Der Mann geht mit uns. So the man is going with us. Peter kommt zu uns. So Peter is coming to our place. Wir kommen aus dem Kino. We are coming from the cinema. And then ich kaufe dem Mann ein Auto. I am buying the man a car. So you can see from also these examples that dative mostly also comes after the verb or after the various preposition that goes with it, okay? So remember up until there, we've said nominative is the subject in the sentence. Accusative is the direct object. And now we have seen the dative also. All right? I only hope we are together up until there. Which means then that we'll be left with the last case, the final case. And now the final case, which is the genitive. What do we mean by genitive? Now, this one doesn't have a lot of stories. It is simply right to the point. Genitive shows about ownership and possession only. Genitive is all about ownership and possession. It is the owner who is the genitive. So it is the person owning. It is the owner who is the genitive placed at the end of the sentence. Now here, the articles become, so look at how the articles change in genitive. Now masculine is des stroke eines. Masculine in genitive is des stroke eines. Feminine is der stroke einer. And then neuter is des stroke eines. And then plural is der. Okay, you can see that in the articles in genitive, masculine and neuter are the same. Des eines, des eines. Feminine is der stroke einer, and then plural is der. So NB, when you use des stroke eines, that is for masculine and nouns in genitive. When you use des stroke eines, we also add an s or es to the noun to. All right. Okay, as I've mentioned, Basi, genitive is all about ownership and possession. It is the owner. So genitive simply means of the, of a, of my, etc. Okay, look at this. Look at the examples. Das ist das Buch des Mannes. So, das ist das Buch. That means that is the book, or this is the book des Mannes, which simply means, now this is the book. And then you have des Mannes, which is of the man. This is the book of the man. As I've mentioned, genitive simply means of the, or of the man. Das ist die Tasche der Frau. So, that is the bag der Frau, of the lady. This is the bag of the lady. Okay, so you can see that from all the examples, mainly the genitive lies at the end. Mainly they lie at the end. Okay, masculine is now des to eines, feminine is der. And then das ist der Computer. This is the computer des Pilots, of the pilot. Das sind die Bücher. These are the books der Tanten, of the aunts. Okay, aunties, of the aunties. So genitive can also be used just like in English with the proper nouns, using the person's name to indicate ownership, but without using apostrophe. So in English, we normally use also the person's name. I could say Fred's Buch or Teresa's car, yeah, using the person's name and an apostrophe. Now in German also, we can also use the person's name, but simply adding an S without an apostrophe to also show possession, just like in the provided examples. Like, ich habe Peters Buch. So you can see Peters, no apostrophe, simply say Peters with an S as one word. So ich habe Peters Buch. I have Peters Buch. And then Maria ist Billys Schwester. So Maria is Billy's sister. You can see there's no apostrophe. And then das ist mein Vaters Auto. So this is my father's car. So you can see also, just like in English, we can also show possessions of people's objects without using the apostrophe and by simply adding an S to the noun. Maria's Buch, Peter's car, etc, etc. And then the final bit we'll be seeing today is prepositions in genitive are. So here are the prepositions that normally go with the genitive. We have während, which normally means during or while. Statt, or sometimes called anstatt, which means instead of. Trotz. Now, trotz is despite. Then you have innerhalb. Innerhalb is in or inside. Then you have außerhalb. Now, außerhalb is outside. And then you have wegen. Wegen, which means due to. Due to or because of. Because of, okay? So, here are the final examples of sentences with the prepositions in genitive. Ich wohne außerhalb der Stadt. Ich wohne, I live außerhalb der Stadt. You can see now, Stadt, which is feminine, normally it is die Stadt. Now it changes to der Stadt. I live outside the town. Trotz des Regens, despite the rain. So Regen is normally der Regen, so it becomes des Regens. So trotz des Regens, despite the rain, komme ich am coming. Wegen des Wetters, so due to the weather, kommt Peter nicht. Peter is not coming. And those are the 4 cases that we have in German. You have seen all the 4: nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive. If in case there's any bit you have not heard clearly, you can rewind and play back the video so that you get each and every aspect well, all right? If in case you have any more comments or questions for us, feel free to share your thoughts below in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Well then, keep practicing, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Das ist alles. Bis dann.